But I'd say the main giveaway for me was that these guys didn't even send out early review codes, not even to bigger sites like...
Wait. Did you see this? He was aiming in that direction, but the bullet went down, hitting the guy. Oh my god, this is bad. How can you not... Hundreds of millions of dollars, by the way.
IGN or GameSpot. And while that's not...
There, again. He's shooting there and is hitting there.
Today, what I hope is the last laughable news out of the entire dumpster fire of Mindseye and Build a Rocket Boy. But I know there is eventually going to need to be a post...
What's Build a Rocket Eye? Boy, never heard of it. Never heard of Mindseye. Never heard of it. Ever. One of the biggest AAA failures in video game history. Another one? Another one? I mean, last year we had... how was it called? Concord. Just as a disaster as the Concord disaster in France in 2010, something like that. Yeah, one crashed.
Mortem of a studio that raised hundreds of millions of dollars, factually, hundreds of millions of dollars from investors to become the next big thing, to basically take somebody's name and somebody's experience in the industry and leverage that into being this huge new great thing, and then failing so completely that it will go down in history, at least hopefully, as one of the biggest failures in AAA ever.
So, literally Concord. Literally. It's not the first time that happened. Not the first time. Not even the second time. Things like this happen all the time. All the time. Why? Because people see big number, people see name they recognize, and they think, oh yeah, we can make money. And then they don't.
Seen Concord, obviously Concord was a absolute massive failure, completely shit itself to death in record time. Mindseye is probably on par, or, you know, very slightly worse or very slightly better, depending on which way you look at it, for being one of the biggest failures ever that we've seen in terms of numbers. Both numbers in playing the game, reviews, and then of course in money raised commensurate to what they've actually done. And the only news that's going to come after this, hopefully, is that the studio is closing down, because there's no way anyone's going to give him another dollar, and he's wasted all the dollars.
Wukong? I think Wukong counts. What else? Clair Obscure, that was AA. Great game, I have heard. Arc Raiders, not AAA. Not AAA, and cost $40. If you want just to get into it, $40. That's not AAA. The new Battlefield. It's just a Battlefield. I mean, it's Battlefield. The next Call of Duty. It doesn't look like that people want to play that. So, what is there? There's basically nothing. There's basically nothing. But oh wait, the last Pokemon game. Yeah.
And over again, we're just too saturated with stuff to do, stuff to play, and the increasing box price of things, the increasing cost of building computers and buying consoles, just means that the industry's in a really weird spot. Long story short, obviously, that's like a fucking 8-minute long TED talk on the failings of the AAA games industry. This guy is so fucked that basically he's being sued now. The studio is being sued, and also there's like a 93 employees, ex and current, that have anonymously signed a letter saying that this company is fucking awful to work for, that they've mismanaged a bunch of stuff, that they've basically forced people to take overtime, what's known as crunch usually in the industry.
Is anyone surprised about this? I'm not. And I bet you aren't either. If you follow the industry, you know this is not unusual. This is the norm now.
Industry is pretty bad, but of course this company seems to be specifically bad for this. They've mishandled people's redundancies. They are still crunching people even now that the game's a complete failure. They've fired loads of people recently because of the game being so bad. And basically they're saying the CEO needs to take a step back. The execs need to take a step back. And this is going to play into this. BBC article here. In July this year, workers at Build a Rocket Boy video game studio in Edinburgh were called to an all-staff meeting. Their first ever game, a sci-fi adventure called Mindseye, had been released 3 weeks earlier and it had been a total disaster. Critics and players called it broken, buggy, and the worst game of 2025. That's a rough title to recover from, because
it is
2025, 2024, probably 2026. We're going to continue to see these big AAA flops, these hundreds of millions of dollars, these studios.
Wait. Oh, 2026 Marathon is coming out. Oh, that's gonna be good.
Took in this money, these pre-established studios, the Ubisofts, things like that, releasing some absolute fucking stinkers.
Yeah.
It is what it is. This is what's going to happen until a lot of these companies just vanish, and then things will get back on track. The good thing, I'm not dooming the industry. I think the industry's in the best place it's ever been. AA,
it's not.
Small studios, indie, are producing some of the Game of the Year contenders like never before. Every few months we're getting something that's fucking crazy, unprecedented, doing great numbers. It's just AAA that needs a course correct. And the best way for a course correct is for some of these studios to just learn the lesson. You can't do this anymore. You can't spend increasing sums of money on things that don't push the bar forward, that aren't innovative, that aren't something that people really want to play.
The games don't need to be innovative. They just need to be really good. And that's the thing that they can't do. You could cut out all the cutscenes. You cut out all the bloat and focus on gameplay. Give it a good story that's being fed to the player on the side. No, not cutscenes. I don't know. Be in an elevator and have NPCs talk or something like that. Have the story being told over a radio, story bits of what's going on. You can do that if you're smart. Now the people in AAA, let's be honest, they aren't smart. That's why all the games all are the same. They're all the same slop. And that's why so many of them flop.
And this is good news for me, even if it means a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. It's unfortunate. I can't help that. It just is what it is. We need this course correction because the industry is just, it's done too much. You can't keep increasing the cost of games. You can't keep increasing the cost of making games and just expect the line will always go up. This is not cryptocurrency. This is not NFTs. Which of course that didn't happen either, did it? So then basically during this big staff meeting, the company's boss assured them there was a plan to get things back on track and said the negativity they'd seen was uncalled for. Make bad game, people say game is bad, people don't buy game, uncalled for. Really uncalled for.
Totally.
Then he pivoted, alleging internal and external forces had been working to scupper the Mindseye launch. So
what?
This is where the craziness gets
the game
in,
is just
right?
bad.
Because this person has repeatedly, over and over again through the course of the initial testing of this game and the release, gone on record to say there is some kind of like shadow cabal out there being paid by competitors, presumably like Rockstar or something, because what else would be a competitor to this game other than, you know, a shit in a toilet, I guess, would be a competitor to this. He's basically alleging that people are being paid to suppress the game and talk badly about the game, which, let me just tell you, doesn't happen. Like, somebody who works in the industry should know this doesn't happen. It's illegal. You wouldn't be able to do it. You'd get banned, you'd get fined, you'd get imprisoned. And why would a company that is financially, critically, objectively successful pay money to people for an unproven method of suppressing a game that...
You also have to keep in mind, no matter how good or bad the next GTA is, it will make a shit ton of money. A shit ton of money. This This game doesn't matter in regards to that at all. It doesn't.
Isn't even good anyway. Like, it just doesn't make any sense, does it? It's something that you would have to be incredibly deluded to believe. And let me just say, content creators don't have that level of power. If a game's good and you say the game's bad, people will just go play the game for the 2-hour free period, decide you're wrong, downvote your content and call you a fucking idiot. If the game's bad and you say the game's good, they'll call you a shill and unsubscribe from you and dislike your video and go around the internet telling everyone that you were paid to say the game's good. So this doesn't exist. Content creators have some level of, like, I guess, exposure towards making something better received or worse received, but the idea that they can completely break or make a game it's crazy. A lot of the times when a game gets successful that's being covered by content creators, it was going to anyway. That just signal boosts it in the short term, but medium to long term it would have already done well. Would it have done as well? Probably not. Would it have done as worse in the inverse? Probably not. But the idea that they're making or breaking a game completely is absolutely fucking delusional. So basically, he told the assembled workers who'd been informed they'd faced redundancy just a week earlier, there would be an effort to, quote, root out saboteurs within the company.
Of course.
I find it disgusting that anyone could sit amongst us, behave like this, and continue to work here, he said, according to a transcript of the meeting verified by BBC Newsbeat. So, he legitimately thinks that there's, like, embedded spies, like corporate espionage level shit with...
Tell me you are insane without telling me you are insane.
In his company, which he needs to be outed from this company immediately, but does it really matter because the company's dead? Like,
yeah.
This game can never be successful, this studio can never be successful from here. They've wasted way too much money, and the reputation is completely fucked. They have nothing left.
He's
unfortunately, right. If they are working there, you're probably going to need to be looking for somewhere else to work pretty soon. Staff who worked at the studio say they were stunned, and not only by the strength of the language, they simply didn't believe him. Who would? This is crazy. As far as they were concerned, there was no conspiracy, and the reasons for Mindseye failure was clear. He's also known for his work at Rockstar Games, where he was a senior figure on Grand Theft Auto action-adventure series and regarded by many as a key architect of its success.
Was he?
Great. I mean, if you can't reproduce it, though, unlucky. It is what it is. He left in 2016, 3 years after...
Yeah, if he can't reproduce it, was he really the reason for the success in the first place? Maybe not.
Record-breaking launch of GTA 5, sparking a legal row over unpaid royalties that was settled out of court. In the same year, he set up the company that would become Builder Rocket Boy. By the end of 2024, it had grown to 448 employees.
Jeez.
Now...
that's a good-sized village population. Villagers back in the day didn't have this many people. Wow. So many employees. And the game you put out is complete trash. How is that even possible?
Not to question this guy's business acumen, because I couldn't form a studio with 448 employees, and I couldn't make a video game. But from just a common sense perspective, if you were going to like make your own studio, wouldn't it make a lot of sense to just start out kind of small, build like a moderately sized game, and then build upon that success, and not just be like, right, day one, minute one, we're building a 400-man studio.
Yes, number one, exactly what I said earlier. Number two, yes, you also would do that to see how good your employees are, how they are working together and all that stuff. Because if you don't know that, how are you making something that's hundreds of millions of dollars expensive? You have to know your employees and what they are capable of before you go and, you know, build a tower to Babel.
To make a competitor to one of the most successful games ever. Like, the level of fucking narcissism to think that you're just going to like boom success just because you worked at a successful studio before is exactly why the schadenfreude of seeing somebody fail this fucking monumentally is great. It feels good because you deserved it. Like, I don't know, shoot for the stars, aim for the stars. Society will always laugh at you when you miss.
Yeah.
But if you succeed as well, you would have gotten massive amounts of praise. But then add in you just are a dislikable character anyway that just makes conspiracy theories about the failure of your game. It doesn't just be like either quiet, that would be preferable, or just be like, yeah, we're going to work on it, guys, don't worry, we fucked up. A little bit of humanity would go a long way, but instead, no.
Yeah, if he had said, yeah, this is a mess, we have to work on this now. We have to fix everything that's wrong with the game. Actually. How is it called? Mindseye. Mindseye gameplay. Let's just see. Let's watch G-Man Lives. I have watched videos of him before, but I'm not subscribed to him on this account. Wait, what?
Mindseye is the most disappointing game
What
released
happened?
in 2025 so far.
Now, come on! Really?
Wait. I didn't realize it just exploded for slightly bumping into... Wow. Who thought designing it like that would be a good idea?
Mindseye is the most disappointing game released in 2025 so far.
Now, come on! Really?
A so-called narrative-driven, single-player action-adventure thriller directed by former Rockstar Games producer Leslie Benzies, which has had a rocky launch to say the least. And Rockstar Games producer Leslie Benzies, which has had a rocky...
Mindseye launch has been an unmitigated disaster as players report horrifying glitches and poor PC performance. Oh boy.
Launch to say the least, and something that I'm not shy to say I totally saw coming. I mean, the writing was really on the wall for this one, even leading up to its launch. Like, for starters, it basically had next to no marketing or hype, with
Great. Zero marketing for a game that costs hundreds of millions of dollars. What could go wrong?
very little actual gameplay getting shown. It was also revealed recently that a few key members on the team just left the company weeks before launch. Yeah, what's that saying about rats leaving a sinking ship?
Mindseye Studio XX Depart built a rocket boy 1 week before games. The XX, the executives, they left, not the ground workers. Oh my god, they knew what was coming, 100%.
But I'd say the main giveaway for me was that these guys didn't even send out early review codes, not even to bigger sites like...
Wait, did you see this? He was aiming in that direction, but the bullet went down, hitting the guy. Oh my god, this is bad. How can you not... Hundreds of millions of dollars, by the way.
IGN or GameSpot. And while that's not...
There, again, he's shooting there and is hitting there. And I don't believe that's a bullet drop. At least I hope.
always the underlying reason for publishers not sending out review codes.
This looks good. But then again, it's Unreal Engine 5, so if it wouldn't look good, I would be really surprised.
Sometimes it might be for spoiler prevention to prevent crucial plot details from getting ruined. Other times it might be because it's a multiplayer game and certain features and services aren't going to be active until launch.
Good. Huh?
But in the case of Mindseye, though, it's very clearly been done to try and hide the fact that this game is just a complete mess.
What? What happened?
Yeah,
Got
like
run
pretty much
over,
everything
okay.
you've seen and heard about Mindseye is probably going to be true. And while it's not quite on the same level as
Oh my...
Cyberpunk was on launch,
no.
for instance, being like a completely broken, unplayable disaster, it's really not all that far off. And it definitely needed more time in the oven.
Yeah, the running looked kind of weird. What? Why is he... What?
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Now, I know that the devs are working on putting patches out to address all the current issues, but having said that though, I don't even know if that stuff's going to save it, because I just don't think that any amount of surface level fixes are going to improve what's otherwise an incredibly dated game fundamentally. I mean, this is a game made in 2025 that could almost pass as something from 2005, and I don't...
Is that the bad thing? Because there were plenty good games in 2005. So I don't even think that's the important thing. I think everything else is a problem.
think I've ever played a game that simultaneously looks so expensive whilst also feeling so cheap. And in fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if it turns out that this was some kind of elaborate money laundering scheme. Because after having spent 8 hours with it, it really makes you wonder where all the cash here was actually spent.
I'm not in the best mood, Jacob. What do you got for me? Things
What
got
is
heated
this?
with Claudia.
What?
I'm currently in pursuit.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
But what is Mindseye all about? Well, I'm so glad you asked.
It appears your brain is not damaged after all.
So the premise in Mindseye is that you're playing as a dude named Jacob Diaz, a former Special Forces soldier who was part of some clandestine military group that ended up with him suffering from amnesia during an operation that went awry. The kind of
What?
amnesia where he didn't forget his name or personality, just the kind where he conveniently forgets crucial plot-related information. That's gonna come...
Oh. So every game, basically. Or most of the games. Yes, yeah. This makes sense. Total sense, yeah. Storytelling, people. Storytelling.
come back to him during key points in the story. And he's come to the city of Red Rock after being hooked up with a new job by his best buddy, Seb.
Oh my god, they took that right out of GTA.
Welcome to Red Rock.
Working for a company called Silvercore and scoring an entry-level security position.
Your uniform.
Yeah, the kind of entry-level position that requires someone to shoot hostile rogue robots on their first day.
Of course. What else would it be?
Soon turns out, though, that Jacob's also working for the company for his own hidden agenda, as he believes a former employee, a guy named Morrison, has ties to his mysterious past. Yeah, you see, the Mindseye in the title thing refers to a little implant that Jacob's got under his ear, which he believes is linked to his memory loss, and spoiler, it is.
Who could have guessed?
You alright?
Yeah.
The other tech aspect, which plays a big part in the overall narrative, is a little gadget that people wear over their eye, which is kind of like a digital contact lens, which is also like having your smartphone plugged right into your eyeball.
Wait, getting a call here. Hey, it's new, man.
Which in the game is called a lens, only they spell that with a Z instead of an S. Because if 2000s gaming culture has taught us anything, it's that spelling something with a Z is 500 times cooler.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't just call it Lens 420. Anyway, while this all might sound to be pretty interesting with these elements of corporate espionage and all these various conspiracies, the writing is just full of all of these lame cliches.
I was muted. I don't know for how long. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about being retarded. So the writing is bad. Full of cliches. Millennial writing. 100% millennial writing.
You know, the kind of thing you've just seen done 100 times. Like Jacob's best mate Seb, for instance, who's just that typical, annoying, overly positive personality. The type who says things like, "You got this, bro," and looks more like he should be a youth group counselor.
Good looking out, man.
So he's annoying. Got it.
You got this.
And look, like I don't know who worked on the dialogue between these two characters, but all I know is I have plenty of healthy relationships with my male friends in real life, and no one talks to each other like this.
Can't be late for your first day, Mr. Security Man.
After that, there's the ice-cold, super corporate boss lady named Rigby, who's all business all the time, and just makes me think that they wrote this role for that actress who played Amanda Waller in Suicide Squad, only she wasn't available at the time. Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about.
Jacob Diaz.
Yeah.
Reporting for duty. Just got to town this morning.
I'm Carrie Rigby, head of security.
It's a pleasure to meet you, ma'am.
And you're late.
How about the hacker character, who everyone assumes is a bloke based off their online alias, but in actuality turns out to be a girl because, yeah, that's never been done before. Wait, guys, this one's
Of course
different
not.
because she has tattoos and a quirky personality. She's totally unique. Fuck off.
Ooh, finally, something juicy. So, what sick shit is he into?
What is wrong with you?
Yeah, I think we have seen enough.
The only way I can fail, being me, the fucking god that I am, is that people were malevolently plotting behind the scenes. AKA, I'm fucking crazy. Most were based in its main office, a former casino in Leith, Edinburgh, but the company also had studios in Budapest, the French, and in the French city of Montpellier. Former staff say salaries were competitive. The company allowed remote working.
They had 3 studios that are working on the same game in different countries. Smart idea.
In their response to the COVID-19 pandemic was good. Cool, great. With him at the helm, Bob attracted, Bob being Builder Rocket Boy, of course, a lot of interest in, according to documents from UK companies illegally required to publish online, have managed to attract more than 233 million of investment by 2024. That's a big number. That's Star Citizen. Not quite. That's like a quarter of a Star Citizen. That's going to be a new financial metric one day. It's a quarter of a Star Citizen so far. Between 2020 and 2024, the company posted losses totaling 202 million, with its largest for a single year being 2023 at 59.1. So basically, in 4 years, they'd blown essentially all of their runway. Like they'd blown all of their money building this game, which is why the game launched in 2025 in a completely rushed state. Still managed to save some dollary dues behind to pay some content creators to try and get the game marketed. Nobody cared still, of course. Bob's first project was Everywhere, described by one former employee, Jamie, not their real name, as a multiplayer role-playing game based in an open-ended futuristic city. I thought we had something quite special, says Jamie, who left in 2022. To fulfill the vision, Jamie says that they requested new ideas and features be added at breakneck speed. The reason I'm not pronouncing his name, by the way, is because I'll get it wrong and then people will cry about it in the comments. So I'm just going to say they or Leslie. We're on first name terms just because I don't want to look up how to pronounce this. That's how lazy I truly am. They were going to breakneck speeds, too fast for them to properly be implemented. The studios...
Yeah, that's dumb. Just finish the things you start, and then you can look at new stuff. How about that? But yeah, there's a reason the XX all left 1 week before launch.
His main focus would eventually shift to Mindseye, a game originally intended to be offered as an experience within Everywhere. Leslie never decided what game he wanted to make, says Jamie. There was no coherent direction. Who'd have thought with a game named Everywhere, right? He just wanted the game to be everything.
Yeah.
And instead it turned out to be nothing.
People have tried that in the past, and guess what? It never worked. It never worked. Never, ever.
Except shit. This style of working plagued the project from the start, they say, and would be a sign of things to come. Everywhere, a platform driven by user-generated content, was Bob's first project. So basically it was going to be the metaverse.
Yeah.
But without crypto and NFTs, and without any success, which is kind of like the metaverse anyway. Open letter recently signed by 93 current and former Bob employees alleged the studio management made radical changes without properly consulting workers. Former lead data analyst Ben Newson says it was common for staff to be caught off guard by knee-jerk decisions from upper management without proper explanation. The letter further alleges leadership repeatedly refused to listen to its experienced workforce. Ben, whose team was tasked with collecting feedback and presenting it to management, says there was rarely any response when they flagged issues. A lot of the points that we were hammering home on were just ignored and never actioned. His former colleague, associate producer Marg Peloso, says the studio's culture also discouraged individuals from speaking out. Who'd have thought? Somebody who raised $200+ million and was a success and was lauded as a success, started a studio, thought they could make a game called Everywhere that was going to be everything, wouldn't listen to feedback from the peons, from the plebs, from the serfs. Who'd have fucking thought? Despite presumably paying them for their expertise and their experience in the industry, why the fuck would he listen? This is a common theme with these people. They are the original rock stars, you know, pun intended, I guess. Marg says that their attempts to raise concerns were laughed at in meetings with bosses. He was laughing now, motherfucker. Where's your studio? Staff also accuse him of micromanaging the studio, a process allegedly illustrated in a video uploaded to the official Mindseye YouTube account. What?
Oh, you're watching it?
I've not seen this, so let's see what's in this video.
That's good.
Oh, it's fucking beautiful, man. Fuck, man, it's fucking beautiful.
This is what we do. We sit, we play it. There's usually somebody in there who will take tickets. Chris, you got a ticket about the fire extinguisher. Did you get the raindrops over here? We'll record the videos, we'll take little...
I'm not being funny, bro, but this game, like, I didn't play this, but this game looks ass, right? This game actually looks... You know, we've been seeing it a lot on social media.
It looks like a scam. It looks like a scam. Just a dude makes a game, buys some Unreal Store assets, puts them in, makes a trailer, and then says, oh yeah, this is this new completely awesome AAA quality game that we are making. It's just one guy. And we need $1 million to make this awesome game that's gonna be as awesome as GTA 6 and is even double the size, double the details, double the amount of hookers you can run over. That's how this looks.
Media recently with people being like, oh my god, AI can create a video game, look how good this looks. I can show you one actually right now. Is what this game looks like to me. Yes. And this is made by AI. It just looks goofy as shit. Like, look at this absolute fucking garbage. Just
this looks actually interesting. Unlike the actual game, this AI thing looks actually interesting.
Things appearing out of nowhere. Just like this. This is ass, right? And you just know that corporate executives are like, oh my god, this is amazing. We can't wait to pour all of our money into this. This is the future. But for everyone who plays video games, this looks like absolute garbage.
Yeah.
But still, this probably looks better than Mindseye. But when I see Mindseye, this is what I think of. This complete shite. I mean, visually, it looks kind of similar, right?
Chunks out, and then that'll get put into the Jira database, and that'll get sent out to devs to fix.
Look at the run-in, bro.
Yeah.
I have no doubt a lot of very talented...
When the running in a game looks bad, if they can get that correct, you know, how likely is it that they can get the other stuff correct?
Like the people worked on this game, and it's almost always like middle management, upper management, executives that fuck these things up. But they were clearly not given enough time as developers to polish this and turn it into something that looks like what I assume they would want their respected work to be. Something that they could feel proud of. But this looks fucking
You do have to play
ass.
the whole thing. That's what takes time. You got to do a full playthrough.
Everyone's just sat there like, yeah, boss. Yeah, boss. Like nobody's said. It's a dev diary, and it's just this one guy saying things, and everyone's just sat nodding like, yeah, keep paying off. Check, please.
We've got to notice that in mission 3, somebody said something, and continuity is okay in mission 17. I don't think we could have worked longer, harder, put as much blood and guts, sweat into it.
How's it a dev diary when it's just this guy speaking?
Yeah.
It shows the director instructing an onlooker to make a note of an issue he has noticed as he plays the game. Developers say this was a regular occurrence, resulting in what Ben and Mark claim were known within the studio as Leslie tickets. They had a nickname for it. Jamie says they also heard them referred to as Leslie bugs or simply Leslies. He's pulled a Leslie. Friends reference. Developers told Newsbeat these could range from minor.
Who would get that reference these days? No one, because Friends went off air over 20 years ago. Oh, Jesus.
Cosmetic issues to instructions to ditch whole missions from the game, and there was an expectation that these would be given top priority. Get on it. Get on this, Leslie. It didn't matter what else you were doing, what else was being worked on, says Ben. The Leslie ticket had to be taken care of. What a dick this guy sounds like.
Yeah.
Jamie says the practice introduced instability and prevented teams from taking ownership of their work. Yeah, because you might get a Leslie. Developers say the decision to launch Mindseye in June 2025 prompted a period of crunch, a games industry term for mandatory overtime. They say this meant extra 8 hours of unpaid overtime per week for the majority of staff, although some employees were excused from it. Mark says the crunch began in mid-Feb and continued into May, with workers eventually being promised 7 hours of leave per 8 hours overtime to be taken after Mindseye release. This never happened, by the way, according to the open letter. People just felt like they were being commanded to give a lot to the company without too much in return. Nothing, and redundancy to follow. And a game that failed so badly, everyone is going to lose their jobs. You were giving your life, your time, your finite currency of time to essentially complete waste. You weren't getting paid. You're going to be derided by practically everybody for you having worked on this fucking dumpster fire. You were giving your life up for this dog shit because of this guy's complete incompetence and delusion. Feels bad.
Imagine having your working time on this game for this company on your resume and trying to get a new job. Ah, that's something, right? Right? That's quite something.
Man. Ben alleges that some departments, such as quality assurance team, were particularly affected, with some staff suffering physically and mentally as a result of the stress and pressure. Former audio programmer Isaac Hood says mistakes started piling up during crunch, and says regressions where one team would fix a bug only for another to unwittingly bring it back to life became increasingly common. And it does mess with you, he says. You really start to see morale go down, the little arguments started to happen, people are burning the candle at both ends and starting to think, what's the point? Mark says that at the studio, they expected to receive a negative reception on launch, describing the approach to its release as everybody holding their breath, and they all suffocated. Nevertheless, staff gathered in Bob's Edinburgh studio to celebrate Mindseye launch on 10th of June. Mark says everyone was drinking champagne. Oh, no, brother.
Why?
Everyone was gathered around. Leslie, King Leslie. Glasses together. Oh, look, we've got 3,000 players. $250 million well spent. Whoa, yeah, we've all lost our job. Whoa, celebrate. Everyone was drinking champagne, just having a good time, which was quite heartwarming, I guess. And then reality set in.
We have, just for the ones who don't know, games that cost less than $10,000 have more players. And it's not even close.
At the same time, it really felt like this was the last good thing that's going to happen. The celebrations were short-lived.
Could have guessed.
Bob had not shared advanced copies of Mindseye with reviewers. Of course they didn't. The game was fucked. Everyone would have told the public not to buy this. But when early impressions of the game began to surface, the mood soured. Bro, what I would give for video, like following Leslie around with the camera, just recording as this happened, 24 hours a day for like the week of this launch. Oh man, that would be, I think I'd come. It'd be buckets, mate. It'd be buckets.
Man.
Players who bought the game on release day encountered major performance issues and reported various bugs, including pedestrians that appeared to walk on air. And in one heavily memed example, one character's face appeared to melt due to a graphical glitch. Twitch streamer Kokon showed viewers he was instructed to cancel a sponsorship launch day stream at the last minute as word of the game's problems spread. I said this at the time, I hope Ko got paid at least some money for this, because he'll have scheduled time, potentially cancelled other sponsored stuff.
Oh boy.
To do this stream. And then I saw the video. It was like, I'm going live with Mindseye. Wait, someone's on the phone. Oh no, never mind. No, we're not. It's been cancelled. Which I've never seen before. I've never seen this happen. And it's because other people that had already been streaming the game, the reviews of the game, was so fucking bad that they were like, let's save this thousands of dollars on this sponsored stream and just move on with our life. So audio programmer Isaac says he had maintained some optimism in the run-up to release.
Imagine how bad the game must be if the company comes and cancels a sponsorship last minute. Wow.
But start to lose hope fairly quickly. You were just seeing disastrous review after disastrous review and thinking, this isn't going to go well. Mark says the team spent the next 2 weeks working on hotfixes, small targeted updates to address issues, until management told them that they were at risk of being laid off. This month, between 250 and 300 Bob staff lost their jobs. When this happens, the studio's dead. Like, you not make...
Wait, this month, between 250 and 200 staff lost their jobs. Oh yeah, the studio's dead. Completely dead.
In another game, this game is never going to be successful. It's over. All the money's gone. This is just basically... It'll be math for how can we give ourselves like the longest amount of time while still technically having the ability to maybe turn things around. And that'll be the base number of employees and positions that they think they can do it with. But obviously it's fucked. If you mismanage 440 employees making this game with so much money, how are you going to manage like 30% of the employees with less time and less money to do better than the thing before? Not going to happen. The union, which put out an open letter on behalf of 93 employees, said it also plans to take legal action against Bob over what it called disastrous mishandling of the redundancy process. So that'll drain what remains of the money in the coffers for the game, probably. The studio. Ben, who's a member of the union, says he took voluntary redundancy, but fellow members Mark and Isaac, who were laid off, say they were unhappy with how their departure was handled. In a statement, Bob said to staff had poured passion, creativity, hard work into our game and our studio, adding that it was deeply saddened and didn't anticipate having to make redundancies after launch. He said it approached the redundancy process with care and transparency, meeting all of its obligations, and was committed to learning and growing from former employees' feedback. In response to complaints about studio leadership, workplace culture, and claims of internal and external forces working against the studio, Bob said, aka Leslie and the entire senior management team take full responsibility for the initial launch of Mindseye. So somebody's took Twitter off of him.
Really?
Somebody stopped this guy talking and said, Leslie, go and sit in the back room, fucking put your dunce hat on, get in the corner, look at the wall, don't come out, you're in timeout, son. We've got to, for our sake, for everybody's sake, stop you speaking. You can't be in the public eye anymore because you are fucked in the feed. Because you put us in, not only was the game bad, but you've signal boosted how bad the game is by being such a fucking Melvin in public. The version of the game that released did not reflect the experience our community deserved. It said it remained committed to ultimately delivering Mindseye as the game it always envisioned, and one that players are excited to play. Good luck. The statement added the studio had already rolled out updates to address issues and was working on enhancements and fresh new content. The ex-workers who spoke to BBC Newsbeat says they are doubtful that Mindseye can recover from its launch. Absolutely not. They're also pessimistic about their own future projects and those of former colleagues in an industry which has seen tens of thousands of job losses over the past 3 years. This is just the case. It sucks, and there's no real spin you can put on this. The games industry is shrinking in terms of money coming in from...
Yes, because there are so many big projects that completely fail because the studios that making them don't have a track record of making any games. Even if the people in the studio have made games in the past, successful games, like you see with Concord. They worked on successful games before they created the new studio. Then they made Concord, and it was a mess.
All avenues, as we went over earlier, and there's just simply not enough space in the industry for how many workers there are, and there's more and more constantly.
Yeah.
It's basically people are going to have to start making like indie projects and joining really small local teams or teams that they can work remotely across the globe, and probably taking big bumps, big decreases in salaries and things like that. Because for outside of the few top % of people that can just go anywhere and do anything, there's just too many like mid-level and lower-level, entry-level workers for an industry that is provably, objectively in financial decline.
Yes, he's right. He's completely right. He's an artist, a texture artist would probably make more money being a freelancer for a lot of game developers than work for one studio, or would make the same money. Same goes for artists, maybe even programmers. If you doing animations, yeah, I would imagine the same goes there.
So yeah, it's just how it is. It sucks, but what can you say? They are also pessimistic. Ben says the impact will be felt in Scottish development scene too. It's really sad what would have been an amazing opportunity for the industry up here wasted. Despite negativity around Mindseye and Bob, Isaac says some of his colleagues were incredibly talented and some of the best people he's ever worked with. Mark says they decided to speak out because of these colleagues and in hope something will change. We all know each other and we all know how much we're worth, Mark says, and we need to stand together. There we go. Uplifting message at the end of what is just an absolute fucking disaster of a story.
Yeah.
One that absolutely things like this do impact the industry. The more you see the hundreds of millions of dollar mark in a failed product, which we're seeing with unprecedented levels of frequency, whether from these like startup studios or from AAA publishers and developers and all these studios closing down, it just looks bad. It means unless there's some kind of like new boom or bubble or whatever, all this money is never coming back into the industry. They've left, they've gone and put money into other things, predominantly fucking AI and shit now. So yeah, it sucks, but it's deserved. Like, what more can you say? It's absolutely deserved. And unfortunately for these guys and everyone involved in this,
everyone involved in this, no, only the grunts that work in the studios. Only for them, I feel sorry, because the people on top are the problem. And the scope of their first game, this one, way too ambitious for a new studio. Way too ambitious.
This was mostly probably due to one guy who hopefully will not be given the same opportunities in the industry, because he absolutely didn't deserve the opportunities he was given here with all this money and all this trust and all these people working under him. But either way, thanks for watching. Link to this article will be in the description. If you want to see me cover something, let me know. Social medias are all open. Discord is currently receiving a bit of a facelift, so it might be a bit buggy, but you can join. Twitter, things like that, you can contact me on. And check the link if you want to check out Gamer Subs. Buy stuff using my link, my code. You get a discount, I get money back. Win-win for everybody. I'll see you next time. Peace.
Man, good video. And another game that completely sucks dick. Completely sucks dick.